Hey guys, welcome back. So what we're looking at today is lesson 10, dividing by unit and non-unit fractions. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. All right, so obviously we're not working with a partner, but we're going to take and solve all of these together. So write an equation for each question. If you get stuck, draw a diagram, which means you do not have to draw a diagram if you're fine with figuring out otherwise. I'll be doing both just to help those of you who like the diagram versus those of you who don't. So we have how many 3's are in 12? So what should our division equation be if we're trying to find out how many 3's are in 12? Well, we should have 12 divided by 3 equals, well, what is 12 divided by 3? 4, because if we take a 3 and a 3 and a 3 and a 3, we get 12. How many 4's are in 12? So our division equation should be 12 divided by 4 equals 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 4, 4, and 4 to get 12, so it's 3. All right, the next one, how many 6's are in 12? Well, start with our 12, divide by 6, and it's going to equal 2. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Sorry, they overlapped a little. It's hard to see. And that gives us 12. Now, the next set of these, what is 12 groups of 1/3? So it's saying 12 groups of 1/3. So that means we're taking 1/3 12 times. So this time it's going to be multiplication. So 12 times 1/3 equals, well, if this is a third, let me make this bigger, it might be easier. Where each dot's going to represent a third. So a third, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we group these in 3's. So we've got 3, and we've got another 3, another 3, and another 3, which gives us 4 again. What is 12 groups of 1/4? So 12 times 1/4, same thing. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This time we're grouping them in 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 3 groups. And the last one, what's 12 groups of 6? So 12 groups of 1/6. So 12 times 1/6 equals, once again, each one's 1/6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's the other 6, so it's 2 groups. Now, what do you notice about the different problems, the diagrams, and the equations? So you should notice that dividing by a whole number, so dividing by a whole number gets the same result as multiplying by the reciprocal. Now, reciprocal is your keyword for this lesson. Reciprocal just means the flip of a fraction. So if we have 3, its reciprocal is 1/3. If we have 3 halves, its reciprocal is 2/3. So these are reciprocals. So your keyword is reciprocal. All right, so for number 4, complete this sentence based on your observations. Dividing by a whole number A produces the same result as multiplying by 1 over A. It's reciprocal. So depending on what your whole number is, we used A, gives the same result as multiplying by 1 over A. So this can be helpful in taking and solving. Very helpful. All right, the next thing we're looking at, just a second, is dividing by non-unit fractions. Get there. All right, so to find the value of 6 divided by 2/3, Elena began by drawing her diagram in the same way she did for 6 divided by 1/3. Use her diagram to find out how many 2/3 are in 6. Adjust and label the diagrams as needed. All right, so it's got our 6 total, and each one of these boxes represents 1/3. So there's 3, that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get all of them. Now I'm not going to write 1/3 in all of them because it's a little too tiny for me to be able to fit that. But if we're trying to find out how many 2/3 are in 6, well, if we group these two, that gets us 2/3. These two is also 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, and 2/3. So there are 9 groups of 2/3. So it would be 9. Now, she says to find 6 divided by 2/3, I can just take the value of 6 divided by 1/3 and then either multiply it by 1/2 or divide it by 2. Do you agree with her? Why or why not? Well, if we count out how many 1/3 there are, there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So there was 18 1/3. And we had 9 2/3. 9 is half of 18, so she divided it by 2 or multiplied it by 1/2. The reason we should agree is because 2/3 is 2 1/3. So if we put 2 1/3 in a group, we would have half as many groups as we did for 6 divided by 1/3. So just like I showed here, for each time we're doing it, we're taking and having half as many because we're combining 2 together. So that's how that works there. So for number 2, for each division expression, complete the diagram using the same interpretation of division that Elena did. Then write the value of the expression. Think about how you could find the value of each expression without counting the equal pieces in your diagram. So remember, we had 6 divided by 2/3. So 6 divided by 2/3. And we took how many we got from 6 divided by 1/3 and divided that by 2. 2's the numerator. So we're going to take the 6 and multiply it by the denominator and then divide by the numerator. So 6 times 4 is 24, and 24 divided by 3 equals 8. Now, if we test it out with our diagram, we have 3/4. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3. So there's one group. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There's 2. 1, 2, 3. There's 3. 1, 2, 3. There's 4. 1, 2, 3. There's 5. There's 6. There's 7. And there's 8. So we were right with our answer of 8 there. All right, so 6 divided by 4/3. Maybe it was a fluke. Let's try it with another one. So in this case, we're going to take 6 times 3, which is 18, and then 18 divided by 4, which in this case is going to give us 4.5. So we'll have 4 1/2 groups. So we're taking 4/3. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one group. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's two groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's three groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's four groups. And then we have a half group because there's only two of the four that we need. So we have a half group. So 4 and a half, which is what we got. So it looks like it's working. So for the next one, take 6 times 6, which gives us 36, and 36 divided by 4, which equals 9. So we should have 9 here. If we do this, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one group. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's two groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's three groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's four groups. 5 groups. 6, 7, 8, 9. So we do end up with our 9 groups. So grouping 4 of those 1/6 together, we end up with 9 of them to make up 6. So Elena studied her diagrams and noticed that she always took the same 2 steps to represent division by a fraction on a tape diagram. She said, my first step was to partition each one whole into as many parts as the number in the denominator. So if the expression is 6 divided by 3/4, I would partition each one whole into 4 parts. Now I have 4 times as many parts. My next step was to put a certain number of those parts in one group, and that number is the numerator of the divisor. So if the fraction is 3/4, I would put 3 of the 1/4 into one group. I could then tell how many 3/4 are in 6. Which expression represents how many 3/4 Elena would have after these 2 steps? Be prepared to explain your reasoning. So, based on what she's doing, after 2 steps, how many would she have? So 1 whole into 4 parts makes 4 times as many pieces, making every 3 into a group makes 1/3 as many groups. So we need to take and multiply the 6 and the 4 together because we're making 4 times as many boxes, so 6 times 4, and then we're dividing that by 3 because we're grouping it, so it should be C. All right, so we're going to use the work from the previous questions to find the values of the following expressions. So remember, we're taking 6 times 7, which equals 42. Then we're taking 42 and dividing it by 2. 42 divided by 2 is 21. Next one, 6 times 10 equals 60. 60 divided by 3 equals, oops, wrong thing, 20. Last one, 6 times 25 equals 150, and 150 divided by 6 equals 25. So all we're doing is we're taking the whole number times the denominator and then dividing it by the numerator. That's the end. So that is the rule for when we're taking a whole number divided by this fraction. Take the whole number, multiply it by the denominator, and then divide it by the fraction. All right, your keyword for this lesson, like I said, is reciprocal. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.